It's a well-known fact that Piers Morgan's unwavering grudge against Meghan Markle cost him his previous job at ITV.
But yet you continue to trash her.
Okay, I'm done with this.
No.
Sorry, no. Sorry.
Do you know what? That's pathetic.
You can trash me, mate, but not my own
No.
show. See you later.
I'm being...
Sorry, can't do
This is
this.
absolutely diabolical behaviour.
However, brace yourselves for the mind-boggling revelation that this is not where the saga began. Oh, no. The truth behind Piers Morgan's animosity is juicier than a season finale of Desperate Housewives. Let's get to the crunch.
When the stakes are this high, doesn't it make more sense to hear our story from us?
Oh, shut up. What do you mean the stakes are this high? Who do you think you are? Other than a latte-munching imbecile.
Welcome and welcome back. Brace yourselves for a whirlwind of Meghan Markle related drama today. I assure you that no matter where you find yourselves, your day is undeniably better than the roller coaster that Meghan Markle has been riding lately. Spotify, the once beloved audio platform, has bid adieu to Meghan, finally waking up to the realization that she is rather frugal when it comes to work and downright economical when it comes to the truth. She made grand promises of endless captivating episodes, but what did she deliver? A measly 13 episodes over a span of 2 years. If we do the math, my friends, that equals precisely one exceptionally lazy lady. Even Spotify's very own Bill Simmons, a prominent figure at the company, referred to Meghan as grifters.
Well, let's just...
I wish I had been involved in the Meghan and Harry leave Spotify negotiation. The fucking grifters. That's the podcast we should have launched with them.
And couldn't contain his joy as Spotify wisely distanced themselves from the self-destructing Markle brand. But folks, the plot thickens. In the midst of this debacle, in a desperate attempt to salvage the Markle brand, Camp Meghan announced that a supposed monumental deal with Dior worth millions was on the cards. Alas, Dior wasted no time in publicly denying the existence of any such deal. To put it mildly, it has been a turbulent week at the prestigious Montecito mansion. Meghan has been on a downhill spiral for the last 3 years, losing popularity faster than the speed of light, yet amidst the chaos there stood one lone warrior who saw through Meghan's facade long before anyone else. That person is none other than Mr. Piers Morgan.
So yeah, I see real damage in what Meghan Markle and Harry have both done now to the reputation of his country.
Love him or hate him, there's no in-between when it comes to this guy. But let's give credit where it's due. He was the sole voice brave enough to publicly call out Meghan's lies immediately after her Oprah interview. And while this ultimately cost Piers his cherished morning show, he stood firm in his convictions. Piers dramatically stormed off the live show after a heated argument with one of his co-hosts, who accused Piers of despicable treatment towards Meghan Markle.
Since she cut you off, I don't think she has, but yet you continue to trash her.
Okay, I'm done with this.
No.
Sorry, no. Sorry.
Do you know what? That's pathetic.
You can trash me, mate, but not my own show.
No.
See you later.
I'm being...
Sorry, can't do
This is
this.
absolutely diabolical.
Piers, with no credentials in body language expertise or psychology, relied solely on his Piers intuition, calling her out on her lies and denouncing her wicked words aimed at the British royal family.
Tell you what I'm going to say.
Okay.
This is a 2-hour trash-a-thon of our royal family, of the monarchy, of everything the Queen has worked so hard for, and it's all been done as Prince Philip lies in hospital. They trash everybody.
Piers even boldly declared that after this, he could not believe a word she said, even if she were just reading the weather forecast.
I'm sorry, I don't believe a word she says, Meghan Markle.
Well, that's a
I wouldn't believe it if she read me a weather report.
But get the aircon ready because things are about to get hotter than a summer heatwave. In a fit of outrage, Meghan contacted ITV's CEO to express her displeasure with Piers Morgan's comments, accusing him of negligence towards anyone who has ever experienced a mental health issue. And thus, the war between Markle and Morgan publicly ignited. As Meghan's popularity soared whilst Piers struggled to find his footing in the United States, many believed that the battle had come to an end.
Let me give my reaction to you, Piers, okay? I just, your every rant you've just given the last hour, it's honestly, you're such a liar and a disgrace.
Yeah. But like a phoenix arising from the ashes, and with a ton of hard work, let's be honest, Piers found his own show, Piers Morgan Uncensored. Here, he could finally say whatever he liked, unleashing his real thoughts about the Sussexes without fear of being fired. The battle was back on, and the timing couldn't have been more perfect for Piers. Meghan began to overstep the line time and time again. Her lies from the Oprah interview slowly began unraveling one by one.
Wow, what a porky pie.
There was a decision taken by the palace to stop Archie being a prince based on his potential skin colour. That is completely untrue.
The claim of experiencing racism within the royal family, false. The story about Catherine, Princess of Wales, making her cry, fake news. The notion of being married to Harry before their public ceremony, baloney. Then came the Netflix documentary like a knight in shining armour intended to save the Sussexes from further embarrassment. Instead, it was touted to be a 6-episode whinge-a-thon where the world's most privileged couple aimed to convince everyone that they were misunderstood victims in the whole affair.
When the stakes are this high, doesn't it make more sense to hear our story from us?
Meanwhile, Piers, in just a few years, grew his platform to over 1 million subscribers, continually expressing his thoughts about Meghan without holding anything back. He eloquently articulated his dislike for Meghan, winning people over worldwide. But what is the real reason behind this deeply ingrained feud? Legend has it that back in 2016, Piers Morgan and Meghan Markle were mates. They hung out, exchanged messages like old friends, and Piers even wrote multiple tweets suggesting that Meghan was perfect wife material for Harry. Funny, intelligent, blah blah blah. So where did it all go wrong? After Piers and Meghan's first memorable night out together, they allegedly hit it off like a house on fire. Sweet messages were exchanged, and Piers even invited Meghan to appear on his popular morning show the next time she visited Britain. But then nothing. Radio silence. Only the sound of tumbleweed rolling in the wind. Meghan ghosted Piers. But why? Little did Piers know that that very evening, the evening they had formed their relationship, was the same fateful evening that she met Prince Harry. Talk about impeccable timing, right?
More that Harry is responsible for me never speaking to Meghan Markle again. Because I'd imagine that the conversation, something like, so do you know anybody in Britain? Said Harry, and she probably went, oh yeah, I know this great guy called Piers Morgan. And he went, what?
Piers, blissfully unaware, continued to sing Meghan's praises until fate dealt him a crushing blow. No invitation to the royal wedding. Piers stood on the sidelines while an assortment of guests that didn't even know Meghan and Harry, including George Clooney, waltzed through the doors. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. Like many before him, Piers was used, bruised, and tossed aside like a peck of spuds, to borrow Mr. Morgan's own colourful choice of words. He joined the ranks of many before him, falling victim to Meghan's artful manipulation. Once she had sealed the deal with Harry, she swiftly cut ties with those she deemed expendable. Who needs a biological father anymore when you're swept up in the whirlwind of royalty, right? Right? Piers, having already himself experienced the pain of being showered with affection only to be callously abandoned by the world's most skillful narcissist, sought solace in empathizing with Thomas Markle, Meghan's father.
Harry's never even met his father-in-law. They've left this guy to swing in the wind in Mexico.
They've only spoken on the phone.
She's ditched most of her old friends, including people like me. We're just peripheral friends that we thought we were friends, but actually all got cut dead.
They united over their shared anguish caused by the same woman. The burning question remains, will Harry be the next hapless victim of Meghan's machinations? Wayne said, I think it's ironic that Meghan put all of the flowers of the Commonwealth in her wedding veil and now is trying her best to tear the Commonwealth apart. She is a snake. She slithers her way in and then she rips it all apart from the inside out. Whatever Channel 22 said, if anyone had told me 2 months ago that I love Piers Morgan, I'd have said he was insane. But here we are. There was a moment where I really disliked Piers Morgan. It did seem like he was excruciatingly annoying until very recently, and suddenly he's become one of the only voices of reason. He's a bit like Marmite. You either love him or you hate him. Very few people have the skill to rebrand themselves in such a manner to win one over after having such disdain for them. Meghan probably should talk to Piers about how he does that. Zillion says, I think the best thing that ever happened to Piers was leaving his old job. He is on fire right now. Fire emoji. Right now, he just cannot miss the mark. He's coming across really well, and he really has salvaged himself from some of the embarrassing mishaps he had in the past. There was one interview that he did with Ben Shapiro in which he looked like a real plonker, and he subsequently got Ben Shapiro on his new show and admitted the fact that he looked like an idiot, which goes a long way in my books. I really appreciate someone who could put their hands up and say, I was a plonker back then, and I apologize, I was wrong. Jay says, wouldn't it be wonderful if every scene in the net reflux had an immediate flashback parallel scene showing the truthful version, since they are in negotiations, allegedly, as to how to get out of their current deal with the Markles. There will be then no reason for Netflix to have any alliance with Harry and Meghan, and they may just release their own bitter documentary, which would, I'm sure, get thousands and thousands of views, because we are all absolutely hooked on Meghan and Harry right now and all the stupid things that they're doing. Every day a new stupid sandwich is made by these two. Zipporah says, I think she's right to ghost Piers because Piers talks too much. He does, in fairness, talk an awful lot. But the problem is he's the only one talking any sense at the minute. CH33PSK says, Meghan Markle has single-handedly made me respect the British royal family more than I ever thought I could. All of this exposure of the royal family has not done them harm and made them look like masters of diplomacy. How do you deal with crazy family members? Well, now we know. Deal with it like the royal family have. Never explain, never complain. Just get on with it and keep rising above it. When they go low, you go high. And they are coming out on top every time. If you find yourself sharing Piers Morgan's disdain for Meghan, then give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to help the Crown family bloom. See you in the comments.